Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jojin Movie So Awesome.
You're Joe.
Yes, and you're one Jin. We're going to talk about Succession Season 4, Episode 1. Spoilers ahead.
Major spoilers.
If you have not watched Season 1, 2, 3, and Episode 1 of Season 4, please come back later. You know, let me go first.
Okay.
I sense a great tragedy coming. I feel like we are at the last act of King Lear, and everyone's going to die. Like, not everybody, but I think some things are worse than death, but for our dearest chairman, a.k.a. Fuck Off, a.k.a. he's a tough old nut, a.k.a. Logan Roy, like him starting in the birthday, I got a lot of death vibes. And that plus the middle monologue with Colin, remember?
You're my best friend.
My best pal. And then he ruminates about what comes afterwards.
Yeah.
So death is in his mind. I mean, I think the funny thing is, though, we've always seen him vulnerable. You know that? From the very first season, we start off with him having a stroke. And it's almost like after the stroke, he's defying his death. He's defying his cessation of his throne. But all of that leads him to be alone with monsters he hates, like that surrounded. And I sense a great tragedy coming to Mr. Roy here. I definitely do. And it's great to have the season back because I miss the humor. I miss the dirty, filthy, politically loaded, and emotionally damaging humor.
Yeah, and I think it's even better for us because through 3 seasons, we saw a lot of these characters develop. So we're very invested in these characters. So I think it's extra joyful for us to see their interactions again.
I mean, I would say the most development comes from Shiv, though. I think we've never seen her this vulnerable.
Yeah, especially in the beginning of the episode where she gets that phone call from Tom telling her that he was with somebody, but
Naomi Pierce.
He wants her to hear that from him.
I think that's sort of it's the first time because you know, the funny thing about Shiv is like Logan Roy in that whenever they get threatened emotionally, they react with the most conniving thing ever. And you know, because Logan's reaction to those things are also rage. You know, he tries to take control of the situation when he feels emotionally vulnerable. Remember when they visit the kid that accidentally drowned.
Yeah.
And
in England.
Yeah. And he kind of makes Ken punish for it, calling him old man, etc. There's definitely that. And Shiv has that too. You know, because when she's in a corner, she will play dirty. Like even more so than I think Rome and her older brother will. So but here we see her unable to.
We can clearly tell that she's shook from that phone call, which is why her brothers kind of stopped the meeting.
And she can't take control. And her reaction, you could argue that Rome was the only sensible sibling. That's so weird. That's so funny. I feel like Rome is naturally talented, but if he had the balls, if Ken and Rome did the Dragon Ball fusion, they would be the perfect heir. Because
that's true.
Yeah. Because Ken has balls. He does. I mean, yeah, he's sort of a fucking loser. Sort of stuck in his own bubble. His image doesn't match how the world sees it. But out of the sibling, he's he led the most rebellions. Open rebellions.
And he is quite seasoned with running the company as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Unlike Roman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Rome matured. That's Logan's words in season 3.
Oh, and we have to mention one thing more about Shiv in the beginning of the episode because, or was it in the beginning or in the middle? I think it's when the siblings visit the Pierces, and Shiv basically declares that she's already thinking about divorce in front of all of them.
Well, but you could argue that that's to sweeten the deal because, oh, and what's her name, Mrs. Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
She is, I love her double talk.
I completely agree. If you want to truly understand what she is saying, you have to interpret everything she says in the opposite way.
Yeah. And I love how she's smart. Oh, I hate this is a bidding war.
Oh, I hate
this is a bidding war.
I fucking love this.
All this, no, not I this, all this. This is a bidding war, and then all these numbers 8, 9. That's at least what I'm looking for, And I love the siblings' reaction to that too. And Rome and Ken continues those. They are the most experienced in negotiation. Ken is like, yeah, but like for the sake of argument, let's say the number, and I love that, and it kind of shows their personality too.
Yeah.
But like this is my personal opinion, but I felt like Logan and Tom's team were the smarter negotiating team though, because even Carrie, Logan's fuck buddy, secretary / friend / advisor, she's so arrogant now. She openly says that, which I found weird, actually. But
and which kind of made me love Roman's remarks at her.
Yeah.
You can pop it back in.
Yeah, pop my dad's dick. I never sucked his omelet nipples, and like.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, but those are facts. Because Rome has insight. He just says it in the most fucking nasty way possible. But you can argue that he gets that from Logan, because Logan is not a nice guy.
Yeah, and we got that vibe from the last season.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you kind of understand now where Roman gets that from.
Yeah, because Logan has that attribute too. He just hides it better than Rome.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we never talked about this in English because, I mean, you audience, you wouldn't know, but we talked about like season 1, 2, and 3 in our
Korean
secret Korean channel. Yeah.
Yeah, our big secret channel. Yeah, definitely. Good point. But and Rome has some sage advice during the negotiation, because before the negotiation actually begins, he was the one that says, shouldn't we do the 100, this new media brand, because he comments that his brother and Shiv, they might have a personal vendetta here.
Yeah.
And remember, like did Godfather said it, or like feeling is not like good for business, blood, whatever.
I don't remember where that was from.
But I guess that doesn't make sense because like Godfather is a family member. But here anyway, like Rome is the most sensible person here. Even when the numbers escalate, Rome is the one to correctly point out that there's something going on here. First of all, she's playing both sides. And
$500 million, $500 million is
huge money.
Yeah, it's not small money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And I feel like they could have anchored in 9 or something and even got the deal. Because Logan, I think Logan wanted 8 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just completely just overshoot.
Yeah. But I love Logan's line when... Carrie also gave good advice too. Logan is like, I need some input. He gets input from the expert, like their telly, basically those times. And then he continues to ask around. Carrie, what do you think? 6 is insulting, but you're not wasting any relationship capital. I found that line funny.
Yeah, I think that was very well said as well.
Yeah.
Those are very careful words.
Yeah.
But very clear.
Very true. And I love Logan's like, Tom, so tell him 6. Like jokingly. I love how Tom's face is like, didn't we soft float 7? No, Logan, find something we lost conviction on. It's like, because Tom is the one who has to do the call. And that was really funny. And I think it was a good line, but I think like the central line is though, like Roman also said something very interesting. Like when he said 500 million, we could be ski boarding, eating sushi, not that we matter. It's kind of like, it's funny. You know what's so funny? Like the 10 and 8, they're just numbers. Remember what Logan said in the last season? He said, just life isn't whatever. Life is a number on a piece of paper. And then, but the central question is, in this episode, I think we already get the theme here. What does that matter? 7 or 10? Greg had the most poignant line. Where's your kids, uncle? And then Logan had to immediately fuck you back. Like, what about
all the other jokes, all the lame attempts at getting under his skin didn't work. But Greg's like straight up savage burn right there, that roast, that obviously got under his skin. And we can clearly tell from Rogan reacting. in like retaliation.
Yeah, yeah. That one got him. That was a great line.
Where are your kids, Uncle Logan? It's your birthday.
Yeah, and it was built up so well. Like Greg, because he is sort of the clown.
Yeah.
Remember in Lear, there's the fool. I mean, Greg he's a very conniving fool. Because I remember Lear's fool being very loyal.
Yeah.
Like, during the storm, we need to get out of here.
I don't think it's a good comparison.
Yeah. Very, very loyal. But here, he knows what's going on. And that was a very interesting thing. And that does make me question whether Tom and Greg will stay loyal to Logan. Because I feel like Logan is going to spiral out of control. Because like I think we're finally going to get to see him lose control like his kids. And the problem with that is Logan is terrifying. Like imagine like what the kids when they are in emotional distress, they cause kids to die by drowning. They fire hundreds of people and like threaten executives. They already do that. Those kids. Imagine Logan Roy off the chain. I mean, this is Lear with his like full night entourage still intact, and they all have to follow his orders. So imagine a deranged dictator going crazy nut shit. That would be. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to that. Like, and it's not gonna be nice because it kind of reminded me of like Idi Amin and all these like Gaddafi shit.
I don't know, but the impression, now that I think about it, the impression I got from around the end of the episode is that he's still sharp and he's still going strong. Remember that phone call he made to Sid in the middle of the night? Like being unhappy about the anchor on the news?
No, but remember this. That scene was... I get what you're saying, but his line was, people watch at night. I watch at night. And then it's supposed to be sad. Because I never seen him so weak. Because I mean, Sid probably doesn't know how Logan is there. All he hears the scary voice she probably listened to her whole career, and she's such a she's so soulless that I'm on it, Logan. She's so soulless. She's already like,
it's like, yes, I understand the problem. I will take action immediately. Thank you.
Yeah, and her attitude is really funny. Remember, like season 2, are you the rat? No. She's like, fuck no. She's such a she's like a.
If we turn her into like an animal character, she's definitely gonna be like a vulture.
No, but like it's so funny though. Like she's technically not a sycophant. She's just a very politically maneuvering good player,
and also quite competent.
Yeah, I don't think she's afraid of Logan at all. But anyway, that was interesting. But back to the scene you're talking about. I saw a lonely old man for the first time. Like, cause, like the last time we saw him vulnerable when he was like in his coma.
Oh, wait a minute. He was also watching the news back then on that couch having that burger.
No, but his eyes were alive then, and he was strong. But here, I felt like with the glasses, I don't know, like intentionally, there was a sad music playing. I felt like we're seeing a lonely man. And even Carrie knows it. That's why he wants the kids to call him. And I think I'm not saying Logan is going to completely go break down, but remember, Lear goes mad.
That's true.
And I think we're going to get a mini version of that.
Maybe they're going to go for that, like the Shakespeare vibe.
Let's be honest. This show has like Shakespeare vibe all over it. And Logan is basically Lear, who decided that he's not going to give it to his 3 daughters or kids or whatever. So I think we may see something along there. And
like you said, maybe it'll eventually end up in a tragedy. Maybe he will go into another coma. Who knows? At a very in a moment where things are about to be very decisive. Maybe he will go into another coma.
Oh, that's a good theory.
And all this like personal dynamics, like this diplomacy among these kids and Tom and Greg, everybody. This is gonna all like get into a hot mess. And they're going to have to rethink their strategies. They're going to have to find, like, new partners.
And here's another theory. I think the kids are going to betray each other. Like, just like in Lear. Like the daughters.
And we already saw this many times in previous seasons. We also see it in this episode. Right. Like, they never tell directly what's in their mind. They always kind of like test the water all the time, even when they're talking amongst each other.
Remember Logan's line, and I think in season 2, he says, "Oh, she has a game. What game?" And Marsha has a game. They have a game. I have my own game. You know, and like it's like he says it so casually, and I think there's something happening there. But another thing I'm really looking forward to is Rome finally like showing the scary prince that he is. Though Rome, I think, like Rome is like the one we have to watch. He his only weakness is his weak sexual proclivities. That really isn't that weakness anyway. His dad is getting dick sucked by a secretary like that could be his daughter. So like, what's wrong with Roman? Roman is like the cutest shit ever compared to the evil that other like the siblings do. Like he never accidentally got somebody killed. Well, not murder. That's not technically murder, but you know what I mean. And Shiv, all that emotional damage that Tom does. Oh, we got to talk about that.
Oh, the last scene, the brutal part.
Yeah, like them still living together. I feel like they haven't talked about Tom's so-called betrayal. But we Shiv is also a time bomb here. I feel like because I almost feel like her inability to control Tom and her anger against her father made her say 10 on that deal. And here, but we see her so vulnerable. Like Tom says, maybe I'll know if I make love to you, and Shiv says no in such a way that it's kind of like it's so sad that love is defined by this power relationship. Yeah. Like I think Tom is actually genuine. Like
the impression I got was that Tom was truly willing to talk this over.
Right.
Yeah, I think he still had the intention of mending the relationship. Yet, like you said, Shiv refuses it, not because her love for Tom is no longer there, but because of the power relationship.
And, you know, Shiv's hypocrisy of Tom meeting models. Bitch, didn't you fuck every, like, sexy guy you met, like, during the past 3 seasons? Did you tell Tom about that? Yeah. Like, I felt like, no, look, I'm not defending Tom, but I mean, in a relationship, both party has some wrong, and I mean, Tom obviously did a big one here, like punch in the face, but he's trying to explain where that came from.
Yeah,
it didn't just come out of nowhere, you know, and we as an audience know where that came from, sort of. But Shiv, she just doesn't want to hear it, and I thought that was very Logan Roy of her, because hey, aren't you guys unhappy with your father because? Remember that season 2, like season 1, like that shrink scene, and they trying to like share.
Oh, they try, yeah.
Like,
on that ranch.
I was like, hon, you are much more like your father than you think you are. Here's somebody who I think loves you
and willing to open up.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's perfect, and neither are you. So, but you refuse to budge that emotional side. I felt like. I almost felt sorry for her too, like because we've seen in the past 3 seasons of her mother and her father's impact on her. Not to mention Ken and Rome's.
That's true.
So like it was a really like, and then you know this episode was so smart. After all the hullabaloo, it suddenly turns to black and we go to this dark room. It should be called emotional panic room. Like I was like, it hurt me so much watching it. I was like, oh fuck, emotional damage.
Yeah, it's like one of those like metaphors they use in what's it called, Pixar's animation Inside Out.
Yeah,
like in like this part of the brain is like this place.
And you know, Tom, the actor did a phenomenal job. Like that. Complete puppy-like voice. Can we talk? Can we do this? And you know, like we're always reminded of how Tom treats Greg and his sycophantic ways to Logan. But here, like we see a boy almost.
Yeah.
And that was really, really sad. Really, really sad. And I don't know if Tom telling Shiv of the Naomi Pierce meeting was a play or like really being loved to Shiv though. That's why this show is so brilliant. Because I can't tell if he was trying to give her a hint of the deal or really tell her because of the separation.
Yeah.
So that's another great scene. Because in the meeting, Logan's like, "How did they find me out?" And Tom casually brushes it aside, but we know that he's the one that caused them to have a clue of what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I love the fact that they don't tell us.
Yeah,
Because
it's up to her.
this would lose its appeal like the moment they show us or tell us.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's not said.
Yeah, there's a lot of like pent up emotion too. Like, Ken, give me a minute, and then he goes to Naomi and says nothing. I was like, man, you fucking. I was like, you.
Hello, hi.
Yeah, I think I know who broke up with who, bitch. Like, I think now I feel like Naomi was pretty open. Nah, maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that was I watched this episode twice. It was Hey, let's add this though. I do feel like this is like trying to wrap up the conflicts in the prior seasons though.
Yeah.
Before we go to the bigger conflict.
Because we get the hint that all these
Gojo deal is in 48
all these like
hours.
deals that took like the whole season, they're all wrapping up really quickly.
Yeah, 48 hours. So I think maybe up to episode 3 to 4, we'll wrap up the Gojo thing, and then we'll finally go into the drama we really want to see is the parent, like the father against the children thing. And I think we will see their mother again too with that British guy. Yeah, I think they have a role to play too. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
So it was a good start. So we're looking forward to the upcoming episodes.
Yeah. Let's give a score before we end it.
Okay.
I give it a 9 out of 10.
I would also give it a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. A solid episode.
Yeah. 8.5? 9. But because I honestly felt like some scenes were check mark. It was done really smartly though. Something with like, let's wrap this up already.
Although things could have been rushed, I like I really like the details, especially Mrs. Pierce.
Yeah. Oh, favorite line. I heard even the Democrats are against her, and Logan's like, savages, they eat their own.
They eat their own.
Yeah. Logan continues to drop one-liners that are fucking like, nasty and kind of truthful at the same time.
The good one.
Anyway, I think that's our little review for episode 1. We're going to be back with episode 2 next week, plus Mandalorian episode 6 next week.
Yeah.
And possibly another movie or a different series in between. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. This has been Joji Movie Awesome. I was Joe.
I was One Jin.
See you next time. Bye.